This is the Porsche 996, the most significant 911 in its 40-year history. It's heavier, longer, wider, faster, and more powerful than its predecessors. But most importantly, it's the first total redesign of a 911. So I went to Texas to see if it's a real 911 or just a watered-down derivative. So why have we decided to come to Texas to test the new 911? What's in Texas besides oil, cattle, big hair, and high school football? Well, for starters, Texas is the second largest state in the country. But most importantly, it has more highway than any other state, with over 360,000 miles of state highway. That's enough highway to go from New York to LA over 108 times. And let's be honest, with very little state trooper presence. The engine is where the 996 differs from the previous models. They've decided to close the book on air cooling the 911 and start a new chapter of water-cooled 911. This was a move that had many Porsche diehards worried, me included. They've also decided to add 4 valves per cylinder. But what this has done has caused the 911 to have so much grunt. So the needle can be anywhere and just bang! So much power. They get 300 horsepower out of a teeny 3.4 liter engine. It's amazing. This engine was born from the racetrack because it has that flat 6 layout that really just keeps all the weight low. It's so balanced. This car just flies. It's just an unbelievable engine. The engine and transmission combination is very accurate and precise. And this gear lever is so fluid that you don't ever have to worry about putting it in the wrong gear. The engine and transmission work so well together that you can reach 120 miles an hour in 4 gears. And if you're feeling really brave, pop it into 6 and you'll scream to the horizon at 174 miles an hour. I've never driven such a well put together chassis. Porsche insists on using steel for the construction of the body of this car, while many of their competitors like Ferrari insist on using lighter weight materials like aluminum. The only problem with aluminum is that over time it gets these itty-bitty hairline fractures that can cause a catastrophic failure while driving, which is a very, very bad thing. You don't so much as drive this car as you become a part of it. Every bump in the road you seem to feel. The steering is so accurate. It does have a little bit of push at lower speeds, but at high speeds where it really counts, it's just so rewarding. In older 911s, if you made a mistake like lifting off halfway through a corner, it would punish you like that. This car, it seems more rewarding and forgiving. It feels like the engineers at Porsche have been designing this car for every type of road. Long straightaways, short turns. This car is just so rooted into the ground. There's nothing that can unsettle it. this means is that all these little holes help dissipate all the heat that's built up during hard braking. And so these brakes are designed for the racetrack, but out here on these roads, you can drive hard on them all day and never have to worry about anything. Superior brakes also leads to better road holding and road safety. The interior of this car is traditional 911 with all the dials and switches exactly where you'd expect them to be. It's a form of functional evolution with that familiar tach in the center staring back at you. But just below this is a new touch. It's an onboard trip computer. It can measure distance, fuel consumption, distance till empty, and things of this effect. But what I do like is that all the dials and switches that used to be separate have now melted and meshed together in a sort of Venn diagram layout where they overlap each other, which is a very nice touch. But what I don't like about this car is there's an awful lot of plastic that's in here, over here and on the dash. There's just too much plastic for a $70,000 car. And they've also cheapened it by adding this fake aluminum. Look down here at this hood release, it's starting to peel. I've never known aluminum ever to peel. I thought it was one of those metals that didn't peel, but apparently it does. Look at the rear seats here. They're a joke. The only people who are going to fit back there are really, really, really small children or midgets who have no legs. They're absolutely pointless. The only thing you're going to put back there is your briefcase. But what I do like about the interior of this car is that it's centered on the task of driving. There's nothing that gets in the way or interferes with that. There's no cup holder to put your $6 cup of coffee, no iDriver, sat nav to mess with. This car is just so focused on driving, it just gets out of the way and lets you drive the car. The design of the car has to be the most controversial topic. Gone are the traditional round 911 headlights in favor for the boxer units. The whole silhouette of the car has been altered. The windscreen has been pushed down in an effort to make the car more aerodynamic. The traditional rear center light bar has been removed in favor for a new split light design, reminiscent of the original 1963 911. Even though this car is wider than the previous models, it seems to be thinner and more elegant. Older 911s seem more aggressive and muscular, like sprinters. The design of this car is like a long-distance runner, very smooth, lean, and purposeful. To answer the question, is the 996 a true 911? I'd have to say yes, but it's changed the rules of the game. The older 911 used to be a raw, aggressive sports car that made no compromises for what it was. The new 911 is just as competent as its older brother, but now it allows you to explore the limits without fear of instant punishment. It also has a higher level of refinement. Most importantly, it's an absolute joy to drive. And this is in keeping with the 911 heritage.